Wrestling fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
And now, please welcome at this time your hosts, Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau. You're listening to the next era of wrestling radio. This is WrestleRant Radio.
Wrestling fans, are you
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WrestleRant Radio here for July 3rd, 2025. Graham GSM Matthews here, being joined, as always, by the one, the only, the illustrious Mr. Marceau. Brother, what's going on?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing as well as I possibly can be right now, coming off of, as you know, as you put in the chat there, thank you for letting people know. The technical difficulties, we should be good now. You guys should be able to hear us. I can't get Mr. Marceau in the video, but he is here. You only see me, but otherwise we would have double vision. I know Mr. Marceau liked that. I did not like that. You would have had two of GSM here on the channel. So I am here today with Mr. Marceau. We have a lot to get into. It's actually the 40-year anniversary, Mr. Marceau, of Back to the Future. I know not exactly your favorite movie, but I thought I would point that out. You've seen the movie, right? Or have you never?
I have not.
You've never seen Back to the Future, right?
I have not, no.
But you did see Elio.
I only watch good movies, so I haven't seen that one yet. How did that get you?
Trying to get me pissed as we start the show here today. I also got a notification today, actually a little while ago while I was trying to set up the stream, that today is actually, for what I did not know this, I'm a big, rememberer of anniversaries and whatnot. 16 years, apparently, since I started this channel. So 16 years on YouTube actually fallen today. You're on WrestleRant Radio for the July 3rd.
Jeez, what an anniversary.
I know, what an anniversary indeed. Many of which spent here together talking wrestling with Mr. Marceau. So you can't see him, like I said, but he is here. Everyone else here in the chat, thank you for joining us here today. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Just can't beat tech. It's tough. But we do have 4th of July coming up tomorrow. Obviously, you have the day off, Mr. Marceau, tomorrow, I imagine?
Day off tomorrow. Can't wait.
Nice. You doing anything special or just hanging out?
Just a family cookout, the normal 4th of July festivities.
The norm. Hey, not bad. No better way to spend it than that. Like I said, thanks to everyone joining us in the chat. I'll get to you in just one brief moment here. New episodes of WrestleRant Radio every single Thursday, WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com. You can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcast platforms every single Thursday as well. Shout out to the channel members. Alexis, Miss Mod Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, DJ Swerve1, at Swerve1, WON on the IG. Daniel Malcolm, at I'm Quarter on X. Mr. Marceau himself, at RJ_Marceau on the Twitter machine. John Ritland right here on YouTube. Real Honesty with John Ritland. Richie as well, Red Planet Wrestling. on YouTube as well, and Average Grunt at the Average Grunt on X. Thank you to the channel members. More information on that in the information box down below, the description box down below. For the WrestleRant All Access Pass, be sure to at least just like the video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified every single time new content goes up and every single time we're live here on the channel. I'm going to go back a bit, just read some of the chats that were sent in a little bit earlier on before I had to bump it back a bit due to my awful technical difficulties. But shout out to Fernando saying Buenos Dias WrestleRant. Shout out to Zach as well saying Happy 4th of July, everyone. Maria here saying hello, everyone. Fernando talking about getting his grill and his fireworks ready to go for tomorrow. Are there fireworks in your neck of the wood, Mr. Marceau, or no?
Yeah, we went to Patriot Place last night after the movie to watch fireworks.
Oh, shit. So they do it like the week before 4th of July, not on 4th of July itself. Not a couple days before, I mean.
2 days before, yeah.
And not
this is a week before.
Brother,
tomorrow.
It felt like a week. Yeah, I know. Seriously, it felt like a week me trying to get this thing set up here, so can't blame me. But that is pretty cool, though. They were talking about Britt Baker in the chat. We'll get into that. It's my top topic here for today that I want to discuss with you. Fernando saying that AEW should ship Britt Baker to WWE. I don't know if we want her. We'll talk about that in a little bit. No, Maria, the stream is not canceled. Mr. Marceau did correct you on that one, but thank you for joining us, saying happy anniversary. Melissa, thanks for joining, saying Britt Baker is cool. Millennial Noob saying, good afternoon, Graham and RJ. Hope you're excited for the 4th of July. We are. Thank you, Noob. Thanks for joining us as always. And Mike has said, bro, I had no idea your real name was not Matthews. And yes, I would have thought more Boy Meets World and nothing to do with Regal, but it's cool that you came up with that. So I explained that story in hashtag on Tuesday. That's probably what you're referring to, Michael. But yes, Matthews is not my real last name. A lot of people get that confused. For the sake of continuity, we'll just assume that
what?
it is. But I've known Mr. Marceau for over a decade. He still doesn't know that.
Wow, breaking the fourth wall now.
I know, exactly. Breaking the fourth wall. Hi, Coca Ben. How you doing? But yeah, no, it is not a shout out to Boy Meets World, which is a great show, by the way. It's not a shout out to Corey Matthews, but rather Mr. William Regal. So I do want to mention this real quick. Grunt asked me earlier just to get my thoughts on Dynamite. I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed Dynamite last night. They're rocking and rolling, going on into All In coming up next Saturday. I don't know if they have white hot momentum right now exactly. I know Tony Khan said in an interview that AEW is the best it's ever been right now. Don't know if I necessarily agree with that personally, but they are putting on some quality shows. I enjoyed the show for what it was last night. They had Ibushi and Okada in the main event, which was great. They had a couple other tag team matches that were solid, and I really enjoyed Mercedes Moné and Mina Shirakawa in the opener for the TBS Championship. A really well-wrestled match, great crowd all night long. Really good night in, I think, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, wherever they were last night for the show. So very much enjoyed Dynamite 300. Maria said Britt Baker versus Charlotte in a garbage dumpster match. Honestly, there's a chance that we could end up getting that at some point. And Micah said, currently at the courthouse to post this for my ticket. Post this. I don't know what you're talking about. This is advice for you guys. Always stop at the pay sign or whatever, the stop light.
Stop sign.
Stop sign. Yeah. It's that stuff always sucks. And Dynamite was fire last night. Fernando said, yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the show. I think they got
shame. I missed it.
What'd you say?
It must have been a big shame I missed it, I guess.
The show, hey, go back and watch it. Mina Shirakawa or Mercedes Moolah, obviously, Fabulous Monet, quality match. I would check that out. And Hangman got a great reaction when he came out for the opening segment. And Okada Ibushi was also really good. So, hey, Mr. Marceau, you were too busy watching the fireworks. That's what you were going to watch it, right? But you had to go see the fireworks.
I was at the movies, yeah.
And Elio and the fireworks, yeah.
Yep.
Not a bad way to spend a Wednesday for sure. But I do want to talk about this before we get into the Britt Baker stuff a little bit later on. Night of Champions first from last Saturday, since it's the oldest news, so to speak, from last Saturday. Do you want to gauge your thoughts on this first? Not like a match-by-match breakdown necessarily, but just want to get your overall impressions on the pay-per-view and what you thought of it.
That was a pretty decent show. I mean, nothing crazy. I think everything that we said, everything I said was going to happen. I don't know about you. I mean, you have a hat on your head to eat coming up soon.
I'll get to that.
No, overall, I thought it was a solid show. Everyone won that, most people thought was going to win, and it's just another Saudi Arabia show, so I guess we'll see what happens.
I will say that Cody Rhodes did win. Rhea Ripley won. Sami Zayn won. Solo Sikoa won. John Cena won, all of which I predicted. But one thing I did not get right, and I wish I could play the audio here. Everyone else would hear it, but you weren't able to hear it, so I could just say it out loud for you. I was wrong. You were right, Mr. Marceau. I'm stupid. You're smart. You're attractive. I'm very ugly, as Mr. Gilmore would say, and happy Gilmore to Chubbs. I was dead wrong on that one. Not only did Asuka lose, she lost clean as a sheet in not a matter of minutes. It was a competitive match. Asuka dominated most of the match, but Asuka did indeed lose. I was thinking there was a chance, hey, maybe she won't, maybe she'll win. She'll finally win King of the Ring and, get that accolade that she's been missing out on for so long. But no, Asuka lost, and Jade Cargill is indeed the Queen of the Ring. So you did predict that correctly, but I'm sure you were pulling for Asuka, though.
I mean, I was pulling for both people to have a good match, but besides that, I was indifferent, I guess.
Okay. Well, what were your thoughts in the match itself? Because it wasn't exactly the greatest match on the show.
I feel like I'm more and more right every week now. I see Jade in the ring. I thought it was an average match at best.
Do you think that there's any recovering for her? Because I've argued before that I think there is. You don't think there is. You don't think that even in the WWE, where it's not always about in-ring ability, that she can't just get by in her presence alone?
I just feel like she's just not. I mean, I get the presence thing, but I feel like her in-ring's not good enough to feel like she also not good on the mic. So it's like, at least if like she had the presence and she was good on the mic, I feel like that can kind of like make up for the in-ring stuff, but her in-ring is just so bad and her mic work's not great. So, I mean, she just looks good. She looks good in 8x10. Quote Jim Cornette.
Could she be salvaged by a, first of all, it's a good quote. Second of all, could she be salvaged by a heel turn?
But who's she going to turn heel on?
Bianca, perhaps. I think Bianca, I mean, Naomi's already a heel. Bianca, I feel it could be turning heel before even Jade Cargill does.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would turn Bianca heel over her. I mean, like I said, maybe it would help, but I don't know, I feel like she's just regressed and just hasn't got any better.
Okay, well, we'll see about that. I still do think she goes on to win the World Women's Championship or the WWE Women's Championship, rather, at SummerSlam when she faces Tiffany Stratton, unless Naomi cashes in before then, which she did tease last Friday in SmackDown. Obviously, that did not come to fruition. But yeah, I guess we'll see in due time. I thought the rest of the show was perfectly fine. We did finally get, I will say, the debut of one Hikuleo and the returning Tonga Loa. Your favorite. I know you were anticipating that one, but Hikuleo is finally here in WWE. We got a new United States champion. The match itself was solid. I actually have no issue. I saw some outrage online over Jacob Fatu already losing the United States Championship after only having held it for like 2 months. I really don't think this is that big of a deal. You give Solo something to do for now. Not super enamored with that, but it's better than nothing. But you get Solo Sikoa as the United States champion. Hikuleo finally in the fold, and Jacob Fatu's got to find some friends. So what were your thoughts on that development?
I went nuts. I mean, when Tonga Loa came out, I didn't even know who it was at first. He had the hood on. Thought maybe it was Big Jim. I was stunned. And then Tonga Loa, the crowd went nuts. Yep. I mean, probably one of the bigger pops of the night. Hikuleo, I mean, did a choke slam. It looked pretty decent, I guess. So I guess we'll see where it goes from there. But Solo winning, I feel like you said I didn't have a problem with it. I feel like keep him busy. Jacob doesn't really need the title. And obviously they'll build that going forward. So I thought it was a decent match. Love Tonga Loa's back. But yeah, I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah, I thought it was a perfectly fine match for what it was. I guess Hikuleo, I should say, is now known as Talatonga, because that was the name that they trademarked about a year ago. So I think that's what they're going with now, because I think they referred to him as that, not on the show itself. They didn't actually call him anything on the show itself.
That's Talatonga and Tonga Loa's brother. That's what he said.
Exactly.
That's the referral.
And he also said, oh yeah, he was, wreaking havoc over in Japan. Okay, but what was his name over in Japan? Like, the weird thing is that they called Jeff Cobb when he debuted, and then they changed his name, which was fine, but they did call him Jeff Cobb. If you want to call him Talatonga, that's fine, but why not just introduce him as Hikuleo? It's not that big of a deal. It's not like the fucking Rock out there. No one's going to complain. It could be the next Rock, Hikuleo. Hey, listen, Rikishi keeps spawning kids. Guy, listen, Rikishi, we're protection, pal. Like, there's too many fucking Samoans running around here. There's way too many of them. Not all of them are related. Like, even Jeff Cobb isn't related to these guys, but they're throwing them on into the mix, which is funny. But anyway, where do you think this is going with these guys? I mean, Jacob Fatu loses the championship. The easy answer would be he gets the belt back by SummerSlam. You also have Damian Priest in the mix and a few other people that are gunning for that United States championship. We talked about Jimmy Uso, who you thought might be under the hood. It was not him. It was obviously Tonga Loa. Is this leading to some sort of another WarGames match? Because this isn't the Bloodline. This is the knockoff Bloodline. I know you guys can't see Mr. Marceau. I can see him. He's nodding his head aggressively yes here. Are we getting another Bloodline Civil War 2.0 come Survivor Series?
Yes. And I can't wait.
Okay, can we just talk about this real quick? They announced Survivor Series as bringing back WarGames this year. This was another thing I wanted to discuss here today, and I'll go back to the chat in a moment. But we have WarGames returning at Survivor Series this year, and it's not a shock because we've had it for the last 3 years. They brought it back actually at the Survivor Series that we went to in 2022, and it was great. And they've brought it back every year since then. It's been a staple of Survivor Series, and some matches have been great, some matches not so memorable. I think the women's ones specifically have largely felt forced and aren't as great, specifically when they have the weapons and the furniture, as you call it, and they're constantly using all this nonsense, and it's the same thing every single year. Are we officially at a point, let me ask you this, are we officially at a point where Survivor Series / WarGames is reaching Hell in a Cell territory where we're just having it at the same time every year, and it doesn't feel remotely as special as it should?
Well, obviously, but I mean, at least the men, I feel like they've done a decent job of like making it make sense. The women, like you said, I feel like have kind of just been furniture matches. I mean, there's not really any real story. I mean, I think maybe the first they did with like damage control and stuff. Like, okay, I get it.
That made sense.
This year, like we're probably like I said, do the bloodline. The women maybe be like Naomi. We'll have a group of people and Jade, like you said before. Maybe get some heels from Raw in there as well, but no, I mean, I think at this point it's kind of just a staple. I think this is what we're going to get. I mean, it's a stadium show. You kind of got to use it to pack people in. So Survivor Series on its own is not going to be interesting enough. So throw up the cages. Why not? Dust them off. It's November and might as well have a WarGames.
I understand that. And I mean, it is more bearable currently than Hell in a Cell was at the end of its run as a pay-per-view. But do you think, because a lot of people are also in defense of keeping WarGames at Survivor Series, because Survivor Series on its own pre-WarGames, I mean, the brand supremacy shit was fucking terrible because it meant nothing. No one cared about Raw versus SmackDown. There were no stakes. I get it. But there's also not a whole lot of stakes in WarGames either. I also just kind of feel like we've reached a point where it just, the TV becomes formulaic. I know we're in the middle of July. If we're building to a WarGames match with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa and those guys for November, that's not for another 4.5 months, dude. I mean, that's crazy. He's also nodding his head now. You guys can't see it. But, like, I just feel like it becomes, like, even last year, what we got with the Bloodline Civil War was fun. But it's almost like we have to do it in November. What if it makes more sense to do it in September or December or February or something along those lines? I just don't like the fact that we're pigeonholed to getting faction warfare every single fucking fall, specifically with the women, because the women's matches make no sense. Like, they just throw those matches together. And we even said last year, you can go back and check the fucking tapes. I think a lot of people said this. There's a lot of matches that would make more sense as, let me check my notes here, regular Survivor Series elimination matches and not necessarily WarGames matches. I feel like if we just brought back the old Elimination Survivor Series matches, not everyone would be thrilled with it, but it would make the television shows less formulaic where we always have to be building around faction warfare.
Yeah, I think there's like a happy medium. Like you said, like maybe the one that actually makes sense, you throw in WarGames. Then the other one you do like more of a traditional thing. Maybe like you said, add some stakes in there. Make it like if you're one of the sole survivors, there's something you can get from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like the WarGames, but I don't think both women and men need it. I think it just should do it when it matters.
Yeah, exactly. I would only do it when it matters. It's not going to stop them from keeping it at Survivor Series regardless. We're getting it this November. It is what it is, so I'll just deal with it. I suppose it could be worse, like with the brand supremacy stuff. Because there's also, it's not even like I mentioned Solo and Jacob. We're probably going to get a WarGames match, I would imagine, with the Rollins group. We have Rollins, Breaker, Reed, probably a fourth member by then, or you throw in a tag team to make it 5-on-5 or 4-on-4, whatever it might be. That's another match they could do because they have a whole bunch of enemies right now as well. I just don't like the fact that it has to be in November. Like, it would make more sense to do a WarGames match with the Rollins crew and whatever at like fucking SummerSlam. Because like, how long can we deal with? And the match on Monday was great, but how long can we deal with tag team main events on Raw of Breaker and Reed versus Sammy and Penta, or Sammy and Jay, or Jay and Penta? It's like the same. It's like the Judgment Day shit of like 5 years ago, which got old after a few months because they were waiting until WarGames to do the faction warfare bullshit when they could have just done it months earlier. So that is my problem with it. I love WarGames. We've been to a couple WarGames matches. It's great, but like, they got to stop feeling as forced. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you completely. I feel like They're good matches. They make the most of them. The women's matches are really the issue. I feel like the men's matches, like you said, are the ones that have made sense. The women's matches, especially now that we don't have women's factions really anymore. What women's factions do we even have? We had PFC. That's gone. Damage Control is no more. Do we have any women's factions left?
Well, Judgment, I mean, I guess Rhea, Raquel, and Liv, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Or Rhea, no, Raquel, Roxanne, and Liv, I guess you would say.
True.
But besides that, there really isn't any.
Yeah. They got rid of all of them. Go to the chat here before we move on. Micah said, I missed Dynamite last night, too. I'm sure he was also seeing Elio. He was probably seeing Elio.
I think he was right next to me, actually. I thought I saw him in the movie theater.
Probably was. Micah also said, last night was Mercedes Monet's 1,000th match. What do you both think was her best match out of the 1,000? That's a good question. I mean, I think the obvious answer has got to be the Sasha Banks Bayley match from Brooklyn. I mean, for me, that's my personal favorite. That's one of my favorite matches of all time. Do you have a better Sasha Banks match?
I mean, this one should go with no surprise. Hell in a Cell, her and Charlotte. It was easily the most memorable Sasha Banks match to me. I remember where I was. I remember what happened. I loved it.
Memorable is probably the best word to use for it. Would I say best? Maybe not necessarily, but memorable for sure. Specifically for the finish. Do you want to recite exactly how that went for anyone that doesn't remember from our perspective?
Yep, we were there at the Garden. Never forget, Sasha's going to win the belt. Don't really care about Sasha, but it's better than Charlotte. All right, here we go. Up, natural selection to the table. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, later, GSM. And then I left.
He just ditched me. He said to me before the match was even over, because Sasha was in her hometown. For the context, she's from Boston. Main event of Hell in the Cell, first ever women's pay-per-view main event. It's like, okay, he literally said to me during the match or before the match, if Sasha loses again, because she had already lost a few times prior to this, where the reign was cut short, I'm leaving. Like, I'm leaving as soon as it's over. I said, okay, well, that's not going to happen, so we can hang out afterward, we can talk, whatever. Like you said, natural selection, I'll kick out, obviously. 1, 2, 3. I'm like, the fuck? And he goes, see ya, JSM, just pops up out of his chair with his wife and heads on out of the building, leaving me all to my lonesome, resulting in probably one of the most depressing train rides I've ever had in my entire life. Thinking, what did I just watch?
Sorry, pal.
That was the epitome of WWE in late 2016. It was a tough time being a fan at that point. Maria asked, RJ, did you cry watching Elio?
To bear shit in the woods. I did cry in Elio. The very end of the movie got me a few handful of times. Thought it was a good movie overall, but the ending got me real good.
Wow, okay. What other movies have you, just for context, I know the answer to this, but I just want to hear it from you. What other movies have made you emotional? Like movies that you've seen in the last couple of years, specifically?
I mean, that's such a vague question. I mean, there's plenty of movies. I mean, we watched Elemental last night. Like, I've seen it a few times. The first time I watched it, I cried.
Really? What part in Elemental?
At the end when what's his face?
Or whatever.
No, when the kid fucking evaporates.
Oh, okay.
And she thinks he died. Oh my god, I weep like a maiden. And then when she bows down to the dad, woof. Top Gun Maverick, I cried the first time I watched that movie. I mean, there's pretty much any movie that's anything emotional, I'll probably cried at it.
Lilo and Stitch, we know that.
I cried at Lilo and Stitch, yep.
That was good.
Wonka. Yep. No, see, I mean, if I've seen it, I probably cried recently.
We need a Mr. Marceau cry meter as far as on what scale. Is it just basic emotional, or is it flat out weeping this is sad to me? You know
I mean, that's not weeping. It's just tears in the eye. Maybe a little stream. I haven't weeped watching. I will say one of the last episodes. I don't know if it was the last one of Chicago Med this year.
Okay.
In the last season, I legit wept.
Wow. Okay. I haven't seen the show.
And I have never done that before. It was so fucking sad. I was weeping.
Have you seen? I think I'll give you a recommendation here if you haven't seen it. But have you watched The Wild Robot? It came out last year.
Sounds familiar. It's not Disney, right?
No, but it was on. I think it's on Peacock now, if I'm not mistaken. It's on one of those. I would give it a watch. If you listen, you tell me you cry during all these movies. If you watch that movie and you don't cry at the end, I don't think we can ever speak again, because I just can't imagine you would cry during all of these movies, and that movie made me bawl at the end of it. Alexis is
okay. So if you're crying, I'll be fucking. I'll get a towel next to me to wipe off the tears.
If you don't cry, then I'd be shocked.
Anything that's got like family and stuff like that, that shit eats me up every time.
But you know what we were talking about on the hashtag? We were talking about movies that, make you cry, whatever made you emotional. You know what someone mentioned, and I completely agree, and I know you agree with this as well? Click.
Oh, my God.
Alexis hasn't seen it, so no spoilers. She's here in the chat somewhere, but, we'll watch it at some point. But the
She doesn't click?
No, she has. I'm sorry, she has.
Huh.
For reference, she's seen it, but not in a very long time, so she doesn't remember the emotional part. We all know that scene. Like, everyone knows that scene. Great movie. I'll have to add it to the list. But definitely watch Wild Robot and let me know what you think.
I will.
Noob said, however, there's no Tama Tonga, so the most annoying Tongan with the background noise. What do you mean? The yeah chants are amazing. I love the yeah.
I was going to say, that's amazing.
I know. I love Tama Tonga. Hopefully he's back soon as well. Alexis saying hi. T-Shaw, I don't know if that's how you pronounce the name, but thank you for coming to the chat. Micah said, I'm thinking Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso in the Street Profits, and Big Omos. Oh, okay, we got a Big Omos sighting here, even though we haven't seen him on TV in like a year. Again, Solo, Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo, Tama Tonga, and Tala Tonga. Interesting. I don't think we're going to wait that. I don't think they do that match inside WarGames. Like I said, I think we get the Rollins crew in WarGames. I don't think the Fatu Sikoa storyline will last that long. He said he's tired of WarGames. Well, I mean, that makes two of us. I still enjoy
Hey, get ready.
But we're getting in November. The graphic is already out. WarGames in a baseball park is going to be interesting. I forgot about that. They're going to be at the Padres Park, actually, for Survivor Series this year. I think the first time they've had the show at a baseball stadium, so that's going to be pretty cool. Eric Douglas, what's going on, brother? Daniel Malcolm, happy belated birthday. His birthday was yesterday, so what's going on, my man? I think WarGames should stay at Survivor Series, Fernando says. Interesting. Alexis said, also, is someone's baby using T-Shell's YouTube account to common random letters? Probably. Mike said, WWE is boring as fuck when booking was their big moments. Jeff Hardy jumping off the stage, doing a swanton bomb onto Randy Orton. You had Strowman throwing Roman off of loading docks. Those were great moments, but the issue is when those moments were over and you had the actual product, the product sucked.
They couldn't even tell you a match that happened during those times.
Exactly. I mean, the Hardy Orton Swanton bomb, that was like 2 decades ago. That was different. But the Strowman stuff was during more recent times, and a lot of it was not good. The original WarGames used to be every July in the early WCW days. Well, that's what I wasn't watching back then, so I can't really speak to that either. But
wow, Graham, come on.
I know I wasn't a diehard WCW mark, but I just don't like it being at the same time every year personally. Noob said the women's WarGames match should take a break as there's not enough factions on the main roster. Well, if you do a men's match, you got to do a women's match. That's their definition of it. If you do one, you got to do the other. I don't like that idea, but you should only do it when it makes sense. Shane McMahon getting his head slammed through the car door from AJ Styles, going off the other moments he mentioned earlier. That was cool. I liked that match. We were there for that one. Shane and AJ, Mania 33. It was a fun match. Sasha Becky at Hell in the Cell, Fernando said, for Sasha's best match. Also a great match. The same show as The Fiend and Roman or Seth Rollins, one of the worst matches in company history. There's no big moments happening in WWE, Mike has said. We haven't had a true WWE Championship title match with a big-time feeling to it since the match with Cody and Roman at Mania 40. Would you agree with that?
What do you mean, Solo and Cody?
Solo and Cody was good, but not the same. I understand what he's saying. Like, not the same.
Yeah, but I also feel like Cody and Roman was like the pinnacle of like a long, they're probably, what are the odds they ever get that pot again? That's the problem. Like, that was like the culmination of everything.
Yeah, that was like once in a 5-year, not lifetime, but like, I don't want to steal the tagline from Rock and Cena, but that was like a once in every 5 years type of situation. So, I mean, I thought Cody and AJ's matches last year had big time feels, and they had great, matches together. The Owens match was great at the Rumble, the ladder match. Him and Cena had a big time feel to it. The match itself was not great at all, but the match did feel big though, Cena and Punk, I mean, that felt like a big deal. Him and Orton, I mean, you don't have to agree with the match. I mean, I would disagree with that. I feel like these matches are good, but they're not quite Cody and Roman. I understand that, but they're still big for what they are. New mention Asuka and Sasha in the Raw after the Rumble in 2018 was a fun match. I thought that was a good match. Not our best, but it was a good match. The ending of we're on the movies now. Maria said the ending of
I was saying now everyone wants to know how big of a baby I am and what movies I've cried at.
I haven't seen E.T. in a long time. Have you seen it recently or like enough?
Not in a long time.
Yeah. Might be worth a rewatch if Maria's saying the ending of it was a tearjerker. E.T.'s a good movie, though. Fernando asking, did you cry when Tony Stark died at the end of Endgame? Well, you haven't seen Endgame, right? So
I was going to say, do you want me to break him the news? I haven't seen Endgame
yet. Alexis did. We just rewatched it recently, and she did. So just to peel back the curtain.
What a
bit
baby.
There. What a Speaking of Alexis, she asked, RJ, did you see F1 yet?
No, I'm waiting to see with Graham.
What a guy. So peel back the curtain a little bit more. I texted him yesterday or the day before saying, now listen, when I see you in a couple of weeks at some point, if you see it before then, it's totally fine. But if you wait to see it with me, I will watch F1 with you. Boys Weekend.
There you go. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm definitely not going to see it until I see it with him. But if he sees it, if you see it with someone else, whether it be Molly or your dad or whoever, that's totally fine.
Haven't seen it. I don't plan on seeing it until we see it together.
Wow. So. No spoils. And someone gave
no spoils.
Rave reviews for the Brad Pitt movie because Brad Pitt's great. I love Brad Pitt, so I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I bought tickets already bought.
All right, perfect. There you go.
No Sabrina today. Daniel said, I guess not. You guys scared her away on Tuesday. Maria
Tell
said,
Sabrina.
She was a supposed bot in the chat on Tuesday. I mean, she probably was a bot, but she was saying hi to everyone, and she used the same name. Daniel said, I'm not familiar with, so I'm not sure, but Daniel said that she used the same name and the same picture as a WNBA player of a WNBA player named Sabrina, not Carpenter, obviously, but Sabrina something. And,
Sabrina Ionesco?
Yes, actually. She was here in the chat on Tuesday.
Look at that.
She created her YouTube account that same day on Tuesday, but the first thing she did was come here to the chat and say hi.
Genius.
I know. I mean, and then they scared her off because they called her a bot, but it was actually her, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably was.
She hit me up afterward asking for money, but I mean, that's perfectly normal. Why wouldn't anyone from the WNBA do that? But yeah, Maria asked, did you see Steel Magnolias? I don't know what that is. Does that sound familiar to you?
I know I think it's supposed to be like a recently sad movie. I've not seen it.
Okay, well if that's like known for being a sad movie, then that might not be worth watching. I don't want to go into something knowing it's going to be fucking depressing or really sad. Like the movies that you mentioned are good quality, fun family movies with like, they're sad because it's like, it's happy. You know what I mean? Like I don't want like a fucking sad, depressing movie.
Yeah, it's like they're like happy sad. They're not like, I said, I'm not weeping like a maiden over here.
Here's a good one, Toy Story 3 at the end of it. That's for me.
Probably the first time I saw it.
Okay. Well, I mean that's going back a bit, so I mean it's not exactly recent. But the ending of that, if you know what I'm talking about, is a very sad scene. So anyway, also from Night of Champions, I do want to bring up this. No, Daniel, she didn't actually ask me for money. I was kidding, but I'm glad I said that convincingly enough that you believed me. But that would have been funny if she did. Also from Night of Champions that I wanted to mention, we mentioned the Queen of the Ring winner in Jade Cargill. Cody Rhodes is now the 2025 King of the Ring winner. Do you think that was the right choice? And how are you kind of feeling right now as far as Cody and John Cena, the rematch coming up at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship? Is that the right match to do? And are we just going back to Cody being champion come SummerSlam? Are you on board with that?
I mean, I'm as excited as I was for the WrestleMania match, which was pretty low. I mean, I don't think it'll be a great match. At this point, I guess we're just putting the belt back on Cody. I guess. I mean, they kind of put all their eggs in the Cody basket at this point. So, I mean, if Cody loses, I don't really know who beats Cena at this point. Thought the match was fine. I hate the amount of kickouts. Like, he's kicking out RKOs all over the place. And the Cody, I don't know. I'm getting to the point with Cody. I like every match you see the same 5 moves like 1,000 times. It's not that I'm like, just get off my TV, but I just already know what's coming. I guess Cody's gonna win the belt again, and yay.
Fernando brought this up in the chat. I talked about this on Tuesday, so my thoughts are already clear. Do you think we get a double turn at SummerSlam with Cody and Cena? Because I say, I mean, is it possible? Sure. I would not do it personally, but I'm curious what you think.
I'd hold off. I mean, Cody's not really he's still getting good reactions. I myself am tired of him, but I mean, I'd keep him a face for a little bit longer.
Are you tired of him enough to where it's like they should turn him heel?
No.
You're just like, okay, I'm kind of tired of him being in the title picture.
Yes.
Okay. I would say tired enough to where he turns heel maybe like a year or 2, 3 max maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say what the landscape of the company looks like in a year or 2. But I feel like there are some boos. There are some, Cody haters out there and whatnot that you can audibly hear in the crowds. I don't think that you should jump to conclusions and automatically just turn him heel. Because then the question becomes, which I brought up on Tuesday, and I'm curious what your thoughts on this are. You don't really have anyone else to replace him. Like, I know LA Knight is great. They're not going to push him as that guy. If they were, they would have done so already. He's just not that guy. Sami Zayn, I love. He's not that guy. Jey Uso, we like Jey Uso. I don't think he's that guy. I'm sorry. He's just fucking not that guy. So I just also feel like it'd be premature in that sense because you don't have anyone to replace Cody as the guy of WWE.
Unless you brought Roman back with him being a babyface. I mean, besides that, there's no one else that would even come close to his level.
Yeah, and at least in the same sense, like, that I agree with, but, like, Roman's not around enough for him to really fully occupy that role, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Nick said, I agree with RJ about Cody and seeing the same stuff. So, Mr.
I can only
Marceau?
see a Cody cutter like 1,000 times, and I'm like, the problem, you know what the problem I have with it? The problem I have with it is never beat anyone with it. So you see it 6 times a match, and it's like, why do you keep going to this move that's never going to work?
Logically,
I think that might be my biggest problem with Cody's moveset. He hits the same 6 moves 1,000 times, and and then he has to use the fucking crossroads 3 times to pin someone anyway. So it's like, your moves suck.
No, I can understand that. I mean, they definitely do it enough to where it's like over abused and it doesn't mean as much as it should when they kick out of it. I still thought the match was great, but I can understand where you're coming from though. No, I don't think Jacob Fatu's ready to be the top babyface.
I don't think he's ready to be a top babyface either.
Closer to the top of the card, but like the guy that Cody is, like carrying the company. Let's not get ahead of ourselves quite yet. Yeah, Nick said Cody cutter, me snoring, knowing that you're not going to kick out of it. So that's exactly what RJ is saying. What bothered you more though, the constant kickouts in Cody versus Orton, or the all the interference, the saddling of interference in the main event between John Cena and CM Punk? This shit is out of control. Like, I enjoyed the match up until that point. It is completely out of fucking control at this point. Triple H needs to stop.
He's ruining wrestling. That's what everyone wanted. Everyone wants Cena to ruin wrestling. That's where we get shitty fucking main events every time. Terrible. I mean, it's awful. It's too much interference. There's like 1,000 people coming out, kick someone in the balls, fucking hit him with the title belt, and it's just I'm so done with it. It's not even fun. This is like Vince booking, just like overbooked to no end. It's awful.
Extreme overbooking. Like
it's literally terrible.
If there was a tease cash in from Rollins and they somehow maneuvered that to where he couldn't cash in or didn't cash in, whatever, that's fine. But we got Rollins out there with the briefcase. We got Braun Breaker. We got Bronson Reed. We got Sami Zayn. And we got Penta. And there might have been someone else. But that's it. 5 other people interfering. 5 fucking people. Whose music they all hit, by the way. Sammy's music hit. Penta's music hit. I'm thinking, as soon as Penta's music, and I love Penta, I'm thinking, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, this is just ridiculous. It set up the Raw main event, which was great. But there's just way too much interference. And I know, like, I haven't seen people say this, but I'm just kind of getting this out of the way now. I could see people making the argument, well, this is what the Attitude Era was. Brother, you don't do this all the time, though. Like, when it makes sense in situations where it means something like Mania 40, that was a special circumstance. You can do it every once in a while. They did it at SummerSlam last year with Cody versus Solo with the Bloodline Rule shit. But they just overdo it to the point where they do it in almost every pay-per-view now, and it's just egregious. I mean, obviously, I would prefer a clean finish, but I think at the very least, it would be nice if we got interference to a minimum. Like, having all these people interfere, I feel like Triple H, do you feel like part of it is that he just wants to protect people? Oh, we got to protect Punk in defeat. Why not just have Cena beat him clean? Like, is anyone going to really look at CM Punk as less than because of that?
I mean, that's probably one of my biggest problems with his booking is, like, the triple threats and the fatal 4-ways. So they're all maneuvered or booked just so certain people aren't losing. But it's like, Rhea Ripley can lose a match, or like you said, CM Punk, or these made people can lose matches. Like, yeah, maybe if you have some people that don't, like, Stephanie McCurry shouldn't be losing right now, and people like that. Like, okay, I get it. So, like, they shouldn't be losing. But, like, you have these other established people who maybe someone get a rub by beating them. But, like, no, you just toss them in. It's just lazy booking.
Yeah, it's lazy booking, especially when they do it so consistently. So they really have to cool off on that. Back to Jade and Asuka for a second. Noob said Asuka and Jade was a passable match, though the finish was botched. The finish, did not look great because she, like, over-covered her, so, like, her shoulder was up at a certain point. Didn't look great. But he also said, as everyone else said, if you had a bad match with Asuka, then you can't get a match. He said you can't get a bad match with anyone. Meaning that it's not a good sign if you can have a bad match with Asuka. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I didn't know she was Harley Race now, but I mean, I think, like I said, she had a bad match with Roxanne, who's good in the ring. Asuka's good in the ring. I mean, if you're having bad matches with them, you got some issues. I mean, yeah, the match with Mania was pretty good, but like I said, those matches they rehearse like 1,000 times, so like they're set up to pretty much not be like glorified stinkers. So I mean, like I said, to me, the bloom's off the rose with Jade, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And ridiculously overbooked indeed, Fernando. That finish was ridiculously overbooked. And with Jade, like you said, like RJ said, we'll see what happens. I feel like I'm being way too generous here when I say give her more time.
I'll say, does she have you on the payroll or?
It's been 5 years. I say give her more time.
That's who Sabrina was. Jade's alter ego.
That was her burner account.
Yep.
She wasn't asking me for money. I was paying her to say nice things. Or no, she was offering me money to say nice things about Jade Cargill. This wasn't from Night of Champions, but I want to get your quick thoughts on this. Giulia is now the new Women's United States Champion, beating Zelina Vega on SmackDown last week. Too soon? Right time for it? What were your thoughts?
No, too soon. Who the hell's saying that? I thought it was great.
Could have been you.
Mean, I didn't say that.
No, I said could have been. Like I'm saying, if you did say it, that's what I'm asking. Is it too soon?
No, I thought it was great. I mean, I liked Zelina, but I mean, she had a little run with the title, nothing crazy. But I think, I mean, after Chelsea, I feel like it was kind of more of a transitional champion with Zelina, and I'm glad that Giulia got the belt. I think she's great, and it was the right move.
Yeah, I agree it was the right move. A fun little match in the right time to begin Giulia's ascent of the SmackDown roster. Mike is predicting now, Fernando said Jade is becoming the new female Goldberg. Well, Mike has said Jade is about to become your new WWE Women's Champion. Okay, that's not, too egregious. But then he added, along with Goldberg. Goldberg, new next World Heavyweight Champion. I know you're looking forward to that next Saturday at Saturday Night's Main Event.
I mean, I can't wait.
Perfect time. Zelina botches too much, Maria said. I don't know if she botches too much. I like Zelina. I think she was good. It was a perfectly fine transitional run, like Mr. Marceau said. Nothing too crazy, and it was the right time to belt Giulia for sure. And yes, indeed, too much interference in the match. Noob said I agree with that as well. But do you want to bring this up? So that was from last Friday on SmackDown. Giulia, new Women's United States Champion. SmackDown, by the way, going back to 2 hours on Friday night. I don't know what people are going to, how people are feeling about that. SmackDown.
I'm crying. I'm pissed. I wish it was 3 hours for longer.
We're going to have a funeral on Friday for 3 hour SmackDowns. Or maybe you'll have a funeral, I'll have a celebration. And no, Hunter, we haven't talked about Evolution yet. I'll get to that momentarily. But I do want to mention something on the women's note first. Before we get to that, the headline for today's video, that was a hot topic of conversation late Tuesday night, going into early morning on Wednesday. Britt Baker, who we have not seen in AEW television in many, 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 many months. I think she was last on, I want to say in November, and I've talked about this before, where she had kicked off a feud to Serena Deeb, and then it didn't really go anywhere, and she was never seen again. I think the last appearance that she made in AEW television was her saying, nobody cares about Serena Deeb when Serena Deeb came out, and she has not been on the show since. So then it comes out the other day that she's actively trying to get out of her AEW contract. Now, Fightful added on to this saying that's not true. They haven't heard of that. But there's got to be something going on with Britt, though. I mean, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying, I don't know if she's actively trying to leave, because she does have another year left in her contract. Reportedly, she's under contract there for another year. And if you add on injury time, she could be there for another 2 years at least. But this is a woman that at one point was their linchpin of that women's division. An AEW OG, one of the longest women's champions they've ever had in that company's history. Longest champion, period. One of their longest champions, period. And she's not been on the show in like 7-8 months, and she's not her. And I'm not saying she's the best they have to offer, but if you have nothing for her and they're not doing anything with her, and she may not be entirely happy there, stemming from that post that she put up on, I think it was Instagram the other day, then just let her go. Now, I know we talked about earlier this year, like, oh, would we want to see her in WWE? Personally, not really. And you're shaking your head no, too. So what are your 2 cents in this whole situation? Would you let Britt Baker go if you're Tony Khan, whether she wants to leave or not? If you're not using her, I would just say let her go.
I mean, I have no interest in bringing her in.
I don't think they need her.
I don't think they need her. I think they have plenty of other women I'd rather focus on than her. I mean, I will say plenty of people do have revisionist history now. All these people saying like, oh, Britt was no good. People were like, I mean, when she was her hot time in AEW, people were lapping her up, acting like she was like the greatest wrestler ever, when she could only cut a good promo in a fucking tape segment, by the way. Just it's been out there in the ether. I just want to get that out there again, that people used to talk about how great she was on the mic and she never really was that good. But yep, we'll keep going. But no, I mean, NXT has so many women. With the Mariah May, she's younger. I think she has more of a future. With Britt, I would just stay away. She seems like, just doesn't seem like a good fit for them, and I would stay far away.
Do you think she's a better fit for AEW, though? I mean, I feel like we talk about it, like, she's good enough in the ring to where I think she could do well in WWE. And the whole backstage politics of things, like the Thunder Rosa thing, is absolutely true. They've talked about that publicly. I don't know what backstage issues she's had recently, but there was that whole thing last year with her and Mercedes. They didn't get along, or she got suspended for 2 weeks. And then they had that abysmal match at All In last year, and then she kind of disappeared, came back, she disappeared again. I think her style would actually fit better in WWE. My point is, I just don't think, like you mentioned before, I just don't really think they have a spot for her. I think WWE might hire her if they wanted her, just to send the message, hey, an AEW original in WWE, we got him. Like, I could see that. But I don't really think she really adds a whole bunch to WWE's women's division that they don't already have on, honestly, any of their 3 brands right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't bring her in. I mean, she looked great. I think she looked great in TNA.
I think she'd be a good fit in TNA.
There
At
you
least
go.
she'd be on TV. I just don't really see the point of having her under contract if you're not going to do anything with her. I mean, that's the same thing with anyone in WWE or any other company, but it's like, unless she's hurt or has something going on to where she can't be working on television, or she's hurt or something like that, I just don't really understand why you wouldn't use her to some capacity. I mean, honestly, there's a pretty decent chance they're doing a gauntlet match or whatever at All In. I could see her back as soon as that show. I could see her making an appearance next weekend in Texas. And all of this is not for nothing, but like they try to blow it over by bringing her back to television. But I'm just not really sure what more you can even do with her in AEW. After already, she's held the championship. They've had her as a babyface and as a heel. Alexis brought up that Jade was actually the first AEW OG in WWE. That is correct, but I'm talking like Britt was there from day one. Like, they might just get her. And the Lucha Bros have actually added to WWE, specifically Penta. Britt, at this point, they just don't really need her. They have enough people that they're not doing enough with that I don't really think that would work. Maria, I don't think Britt can be a manager in WWE. They don't need Britt. I mean, she would be there to wrestle. So I don't really know if that would work. But yeah, and Micah even said he thinks that Britt will be big in WWE. Think about the crowd doing the towel thing that they do in AEW. I would like to see it, honestly. But they haven't done that.
I don't even know what you're talking about, the towel thing.
Like because she's from Philadelphia or something like that. She's from
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
I mean, no, thank you. They can take those towels and sit on them.
Mr. Marceau will be sitting on his hands if Britt Baker inevitably makes her way to WWE. But yeah, I feel like the time for that, honestly, would have been a couple of years ago. Like, Jade, I think, had the right idea, where she was at the top of her game in AEW. She was the fucking TBS champion for almost a year and a half, 2 years. She loses it, and then she immediately jumps to WWE. Britt Baker has not been relevant since, 2023 maybe? 2022? It's been a long time. Let's put it that way. It's been a very long time. So it would still mean something for them to get her, but it wouldn't mean as much as it once would have.
Yeah, it's like the same with the Mariah. Like, she was hot up to her losing the belt in February, and then she came over.
Yeah, and she was still extremely relevant. If she was there for another year or two and they didn't do anything with her, which I'm not convinced that they would have done nothing with her, but it wouldn't have meant as much. I think it meant as much as it did because she left at the top of her game while in AEW. But anyway, yeah, Alexis mentioned that she would bring down the morale there. Yeah, possibly. I think there's I don't know. I mean, I don't know her personally.
People act like they're sitting in the locker room. I mean, it doesn't sound like, from what I heard, she's a great person, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Change of scenery. Hey, they say the same thing about Punk. Change of scenery can always help.
Yeah, no, the locker room cancer is now in WWE, as they called it, from AEW, and I'm sure he's had some sort of. I'm not saying Punk's been a complete saint in WWE behind the scenes. I can't say he hasn't been either, but you're nodding your head. But we haven't heard the same stories that were coming out of AEW from 2 years ago. So a change of scenery can make a big difference. I agree with that. I'm sure she would be. Let's put it this way. I'm sure she would be on her best behavior if she went to WWE at some point. Britt Baker, I'm sure, would be on her best behavior for sure. But I also saw this. I already know what your answer is going to be, but I just want to see your reaction. WWE, I'm sure, would try to scoop up Britt Baker if they had the opportunity, okay? Did you also see the report this past week? I think it was from bodyslam.net that they might be interested in other AEW talents. Now, we've talked about Private Party. They were in the news recently. We've brought that up before, so that's not really a surprise. I would like to see Private Party in WWE. If AEW is not going to do shit with them, you're shaking your head no. If AEW is not going to do anything with them, they have not been on the show since January. That's a good tag team for WWE have. Put them in NXT. You said they can stay in NXT forever, but that still counts for me. Like, they're still at least in WWE. The other name that was rumored for potential WWE interest was Danhausen, who has not been on AEW television in maybe a year or two. Is that someone that WWE should look into signing once he becomes a free agent at some point soon?
No.
You don't think Danhausen can add anything in any respect to WWE?
Correct.
Even as a comedy character, let's say in NXT, we'll start him off there.
I already have too much Alpha Academy on my TV. I don't need Danhausen either.
Okay. I would not be opposed. I mean, I'm not just saying sign anyone. Let me just be clear about that. I know that might sound like my attitude because I'm saying yes to all. I didn't say yes to Britt Baker, but I think Private Party and Danhausen, for different reasons, could work in WWE if you utilize them in the right capacity. I'm not saying that he would go there. I'm just saying WWE would have interest if his contract was up at a certain time. RJ shaking his head no.
There's no way. The guy's a goof. I don't need more funny in my wrestling. I'm sorry.
They had Santino for a long time, and Santino got over tremendously well.
Okay. And it was terrible by the end.
I mean, come on. Danhausen's still in AEW, so I'm not making it sound like he's going to debut anytime soon. Same thing with Private Party.
I mean, it could be 5 years down the line. I don't want him in WWE.
Okay. I think, WWE does the sports entertainment thing well, and I think they could be a good fit there. And
I'll turn the TV off. I mean, I guess I'll turn the TV off. I don't know. I mean,
well, if these guys go there and get over, then we might have to reverse the roles, and you might have to eat your hat. This is not imminently. This is down the road.
I mean, Alexis is freaking out. I mean, she acts like he's like Carl Gotch or something. I mean, Christ almighty, guy's 5'6" and he weighs 110 pounds of zombie makeup on. I mean, how am I supposed to get excited about that?
Oh, well, there you go. Hunter said Danhausen's contract is up in July, apparently, according to Fightful. Well,
it would be a shame if he re-signed.
Re-sign with AEW? That would be ridiculous.
I would be so upset if that happened.
If he re-signed, I mean, I know you'd be I know what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm saying that he legitimately has not appeared on AEW television in like 2 years. I'm not really sure why.
Good.
I mean, I think he has value in WWE. I think I could see it. Who knows?
Like I said, hey, maybe I'll make Raw SmackDown quicker then, I guess, because I'll just skip right by it.
Daniel asked, do you think WWE would change Britt's name?
Yeah, she'd be like a podiatrist or something.
I think they would keep her name.
Would she still be the doctor, or she'd be like the chiropractor?
She'd be the chiropractor. Backbreaker.
Something, would it be still like BB? Do like CC maybe? Like Courtney something?
Well, we thought the same thing about Mariah May, and they called her Blake instead, so.
Well, that's true.
You call her Brittany, maybe her new gimmick is that she's a chef because her last name is Baker. That just makes sense.
I like that one better.
She's a chef, and then it's like, instead of DMD, it's like, I don't know, something having to do with cupcakes or some shit.
Then bring Red Velvet in while you're at it, too.
Put her in the act, baby. Red Velvet. She's on Ring of Honor right now, actually. I know you've been missing the show lately. I know it's on your watch list, but yeah, she's doing the...
She's still missing the moonsault, or you figure that one out yet?
Still pretty bad in the ring. But, she's improved. She's a heel now, so she's still doing the whipping of the thing and whatever. Alexis said Brittany Cook instead of Baker. Let her cook. You could chant let her cook. I think that would work. Britt Yankin.
And TNA will sound great.
TNA. Well, when she makes her way over, I'm not exactly thrilled for that, but, anyway, it's something to keep an eye out on. But Hunter mentioned it earlier, as far as Evolution is concerned. This is the only thing I want to talk about from Raw, really, from Monday night before we get out of here. But the Evolution build is a complete, absolute mess. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. You're still crying about this?
Yes. The pay-per-view is coming up next Saturday.
Oh, my God.
This is the laziest fucking build I have seen for a WWE pay-per-view in quite some time, brother. I mean, they had no matches announced, aside from an NXT match a week ago. A match that we already know JC Jane's probably winning because Jordan Grace is main roster bound. Yes, Daniel, I agree with the Brittany Pivot name. I love that. But yes, we already had JC Jane and Jordan Grace set in stone for Evolution. But that was it. Up until Monday, they had no matches announced. They were fully focused on Night of Champions. They're fully focused on Saturday night's main event.
Good.
Then don't even do Evolution then. What is the point of doing Evolution? Why even bother?
But like, I guess my point is, you're like, the matches
sucks.
in the ring, who gives a fuck?
It feels unimportant. It feels like an afterthought. They're focused on this.
Because that's what it is.
It's not an afterthought. It should not be an afterthought. Then why even do it?
That's what it is. When you have all this shit booked on top of each other, it's gonna be an afterthought.
But let's not do that.
It together.
Let's not do that then. Let's not put these shows on top of each other.
They like making money. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
They can space it out. No, part of it is to counter program AEW. In Great American Bash, I'm sorry. Listen, even if you don't watch AEW, you can't sit there and tell me that you would rather watch over Okada versus... I didn't even finish. You would rather watch over Okada versus Omega. Let me check my... Not even JC Jane and Jordan Grace. That's Evolution. They're doing a fucking tag team match with Grace and Monroe, which is fine, versus Fatal Influence. Okay, cool. They're doing Obafemi and Yoshiki Inamura. Who cares? Yoshiki Inamura, is he really going to win the NXT Championship? Come on.
$60 free. I mean, free sounds better if you ask me.
I mean, price-wise, sure. But, I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, that NXT card looks abysmal. It looks abysmal. And they're doing all these shows at the same time because they have to. If they weren't doing Evolution, then they could have done JC Jane and Jordan Grace at Great American Bash. But instead, they're making Evolution feel like a complete afterthought. The build is almost non-existent. Maria said she agrees with you, but I'm sticking on this train. The build has sucked. If the show delivers, cool.
Yeah, but like the show, but that's the thing. You're complaining the build's not gonna be good, but if the show is good, then who gives a fuck if the build was bad or not?
Well, it should feel important. The matches don't feel important. A battle royal.
I think Rhea and Io is a big match.
It is a big match, but it should feel like it's not coming out of nowhere. Now, granted, I will say this. They were fucked over by the...
it hasn't come out of nowhere. We basically know that's where they were going.
Yes, but Liv's...
He's got a big smirk on his face. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Liv's injury messed up some things, but they moved away from Rhea and Io for a little while. Io has done really nothing in the meantime since...
I mean, she's done shit for like 3 months.
Well, that's part of the problem since WrestleMania. That's also part of my issue. And now she's just going to go in there and probably lose to Rhea Ripley, right? Yeah, exactly. Not in your head, yes. And now we got new tag team champions, Roxanne and Raquel. Let's put them on the line in a fatal 4-way tag team match. Against fucking who? They don't have any women's tag teams. They have no tag teams. What tag teams do you have to put in this match?
Do you want me to just tell you? Or like they already announced on SmackDown who it's going to be. So why are you crying about it?
They're going to put Charlotte and Alexa in there. Okay. Makeshift team. What NXT team? They fired everyone from NXT that was a tag team.
Okay.
Who are you going to put in there?
Who cares?
So that match doesn't matter then, is my point.
No, I mean, I'll be on. I'll fire up the popcorn. I'll watch it and move on. I mean, I don't know what the problem is.
Tiffany Stratton's going to get a challenger on 2 weeks' notice because she already beat Nia Jax in the last woman standing match.
And I can't wait. I already know who it is. I'm 6 to midnight over here.
Okay, match in 2 weeks. 2 weeks' notice?
I'm pumped. I can't wait.
We'll find out on SmackDown on Friday because they already taped it. I get it. Hunter even, I mean, listen, I feel like you're probably in the majority here because Hunter even said, I agree the build has been non-existent, but some of the matches they are doing do feel important.
Exactly. See, Graham, stop whining.
Rhea and Io, I like. A battle royal, okay, makes sense. JC Jane and Jordan Grace, fine. I mean, this just feels like it doesn't really feel like it's a priority for them. It feels like how they feel about the women's division, period, that none of this shit is a priority to them. That's my problem.
I mean, now you're just making assumptions.
You're telling me that they think that the women's division is a big deal right now based on how they book them?
They do.
What storylines have been all that riveting with the women? Aside from Becky, Bayley, and Lyra, that one's been great. We've been open and honest about that. But any other women's storyline they've done for the last 6 months with the women has been butt cheeks.
I mean, that's one, inappropriate, but two, I mean, I think we all knew Rhea and Io was going to happen again, which I think is going to be a great match. Like the story, she's never beat Io, so like I think that's riveting. I mean, I think that's pretty good. And then we're going to get Tiffany, and I mean, we'll see what happens, but I mean, I don't think it's terrible. I mean, so we got John Cena beating all these fucking old hags and their shittiest finishes ever, and everyone's lapping it up. Like, that's not great booking at all. Yeah, they're bigger matches, but like we already know what's going to happen. The fucking outcome's inevitable.
Yeah, but I mean,
just like he's gonna face Cody, he's gonna beat him, and then Cody's gonna beat him. We're gonna move on. I mean,
well, I'm not saying that storytelling's all that much better. I'm just saying with
but
the
that's
women. What?
I just feel like the women, there's better. I feel like the women, like, I love Io and they haven't done shit with her, but I like know that we're gonna get to her and Rhea down the that's where we're going.
Or Io and Asuka. It seemed like they moved away from that pretty quickly. We could still get that non-title. Do you think Rhea walks out of Evolution the new women's world champion? We'll talk about it next week. But
unfortunately, yes, I do. Which makes my stomach hurt right now because I'm tired. Rhea's getting on Cody level to me at this point. Like, she's always got to be in the main title picture. Like, I get it. Like, people love her. She's great. I didn't say she wasn't great, but she needs to move away from the title picture. I mean, Jesus Christ. She's in the title picture every month.
I would disagree that she's on Cody's level. I think she's at
She's getting there.
Well, no, you're saying that Cody's here and that Rhea's here. I would say Cody's here, Rhea's already there. I'm saying the roles are reversed. I don't think Cody, like, as far as like that, his overexposure or whatever you want to call it doesn't bother me as much because he's still the guy. Not that Rhea's not the girl or the woman or whatever of the women's division.
The problem is they have other women that, like, they could be there, but they just keep thrusting Rhea in there. Like, we get it. Like, she's great, but, like, come on. I mean, she had the title forever, then she loses it, and then she gets it back, then she lost it again, then she's in another title match, then she loses that, and then she's in another title match for no specific reason. Just, but, like, nope, we're just going to put Rhea back in it because she beat Raquel. Like, anyone cares.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, yeah. I understand that. I'm saying that they should be doing a better job of telling stories with her outside of the title picture. I mean, the Raquel thing didn't really... I mean, they told the story there, but we've already seen that match 5 different times. I don't care about Raquel Rodriguez being a threat to Rhea Ripley because she's not. We knew Raquel was not going to beat Rhea. There was a chance maybe with Roxanne getting involved, and then she lost anyway. So, I mean, I was thinking, oh, maybe she will win, and then what a dumb person I was for thinking that she could actually win. I'm not saying she even should have. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. The booking of Rhea Ripley we've talked about ad nauseum before.
It's too main event level. It's like I said, she was in the title picture for like 3 years. It's like, and then if she hasn't been, she's been hurt. Like, she's literally been in the title picture for 3 years. She's either been champion or challenging for the championship. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I think they need to do a better job of telling other stories with her outside of the title picture that are interesting so you don't have her in the title picture. Like, I think Io and Asuka would work well as a title match for SummerSlam. We're probably not.
Like, they did the same thing, like, at least with Bianca, like, they moved her around a little bit. She's doing the tag team stuff. We haven't really seen her in a little bit, but, like, if she came back and they kind of thrusted her in, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
And she still has plenty of mileage going heel. Like, I feel like I'm waiting for that. Like, Bianca going heel, I'm going to go Bianca, crazy. Yes. But, like, yeah. I still think she's still got some decent legwood with their babyface run. I mean, I feel like she's still really over on that front, but, like, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's still super over. I think Bianca is going to make for a great heel at some point. I wouldn't turn Rhea Ripley because she's still super over. I wouldn't
turn her heel either.
Yeah, well,
just get her out of the title fucking picture.
Bianca and Rhea would have been an amazing matchup. Bianca's out of commission right now with an injury, so I understand why she's not being used. But, I mean, she's another big player. I feel like SmackDown has a bit more, I almost say variety with their women's division. There isn't really because we've gotten Nia and Tiffany maybe 3 or 4 times so far this year. I'm not really sure why. But at least Jade's doing her thing, and I know you're not a big fan of her push, but Naomi's missed Money in the Bank. She's great.
That might have been the most backhanded way to say, like, Jade's doing her thing. Yeah, terrible wrestling. What about it?
At least they're putting her in the title. I mean, she hasn't been in the title picture up to this point, so it's something.
It is fresh. I'll give you that, but it's not good.
It's not great.
She
but
kicks like an ostrich still. It's been 5 years. Figure it out.
It's too soon. She's still inexperienced.
Realistically, she should have gone to NXT just like everyone else
Correct.
is. Blake Monroe is more main event ready than fucking Jade Cargill is, and it's been fucking 3 years of her. Exactly, that's my problem. Same with Jordan Grace. Same with, I was going to say JC Jane, which I totally disagree on that. But
got called up.
But it's like with Roxanne and Giulia and
Stephanie.
All those people they were all way more ready for the main event than Jade.
No, I agree with that. Backtracking a little bit here before we head on out of here. Eric said this was I saw this earlier today. I don't know if you heard about this, but a soccer player passed away. Diego.
Yeah, Jota.
Yeah. Is that how you pronounce? You're always much better with the pronunciations. Heard he got in a car accident. He only got married a couple days ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I read the report. Like, him and his brother were like driving the Lamborghini, and like something happened with the tire. Like the tire like blew out, and they just got in like a really bad accident.
Oh my god,
it's crazy.
That is crazy. Rip. Yeah, Hunter said Charlotte and Alexa at least have a story for why they're teaming, though. Yeah, they do. I suppose. I mean, it's something. I'm not saying it's not interesting. That is somewhat interesting. But they still have, why even bother having tag titles if you don't really have much of a division, is my point. And yes, we've gotten Stratton versus Jax like in the 5 times since February. I was just talking about that. Who from Raw is going to be that fatal 4-way? The Kabuki Warriors? Probably Natalya and Maxine Dupree, because they were teasing a team recently. I don't know if I don't really care about that personally.
That's getting me fucking. You can see my excitement. I'm trying to hold it back.
Hunter said, "Do y'all think we get any TNA women on Evolution in the Battle Royal?" I could see it. I could see that.
Yeah, I would say in the Battle Royal.
I could say in the Battle Royal, but I could also see the argument that WWE already has so many women under contract that if they're not on the show and they put a TNA person in there instead, actually, it really doesn't matter. I was going to say, like, it's not
What's the stakes on the Battle Royal?
You get a title shot at Clash in Paris.
Why Clash in Paris?
Because at SummerSlam, Jade's already getting a shot. So, like, let's say a SmackDown woman wins. You're not going to do a SmackDown wrestler fighting for a Raw women's title. You could, but it would just make it more obvious they're not going to win.
Okay.
So, that's why. Yeah, it is far away because Evolution's next Saturday, then Clash in Paris is in for, like, another, like, month and a half. But at least it has stakes, which is nice.
No, not just your normal Battle Royal.
Yeah, and I will say, like, listen, would I rather have someone from TNA like a Masha Slamovich in there instead of friggin', Maxine Dupree? Personally, yes. Is it fair to the women of WWE to get overshadowed by people from another company? No, but at the same time, if you're a bigger star than BFAB, then honestly, I'm not going to complain about them being in the Battle Royal instead. So that's just how it works. Hey, listen, maybe the Battle Royal is how we finally see Tessa Blanchard make her WWE debut. I know you're shaking your head excitedly. Imagine the outrage over that, by the way, if we see Tessa Blanchard in that fucking Battle Royal. I don't think it happens.
I'll go nuts.
I don't think
I'll go nuts.
Well, technically, she already made her WWE debut a while ago in the Mae Young Classic. She was in NXT for a little bit as a jobber. Anyway, yeah, like RJ said, Fernando said, Jordan Grace, Giulia, and Blake Monroe, all better than Jade.
See, this is when he went too far, though. The next comment's too far.
JC Jane is better than Britt Baker. All right, let's not go that far. That's just...
I'll say, yeah, I'll give you the first one. I mean, JC Jane, she's been developmental for 7 years,
For a reason.
I love when she won. She's like, yeah, look who's not the third wheel. I'm like, honey, you're still the third wheel.
She said the other day she's not a transitional champ.
Yeah, she is.
She's
going to literally lose the belt to Blake Monroe whenever they fight.
Yeah, which they're not doing in Evolution because they don't want to make it obvious that she's losing it so soon.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. The Inspiration should win the Raw Tag Team titles. I mean, the Inspiration, they're in TNA, which is cool.
Isn't it just WWE Tag Team Championships? They're not...
Well, no, yeah, I think he means the WWE Women's Tag Titles, yeah. And then
they're not in WWE, so...
Yeah, exactly. It's, with the crossover, anything's possible, I suppose, but... Anyway, Hunter said as we wind down here, I think Stephanie wins the Battle Royal, and we get Io, Rhea versus Stephanie at SummerSlam. Or I guess that would be a clash, not at SummerSlam. I think Stephanie wins the Battle Royal, too. That's my early pick.
Yeah, but if Rhea wins the belt, you're going to have Rhea hold it for a month to drop it to Stephanie?
No, I think just Stephanie gets a shot and she loses. Or I don't want a bullshit finish, don't get me wrong.
If Stephanie's going for the title, she should be winning it.
You think so?
God.
You say not to put the belt on Rhea for a month, but they did that literally earlier this year when she lost it to Io after like a month or two when she beat Liv. So
yeah, because they had to put the belt on her.
We didn't have to put the belt on Io. I'm glad they did. We were happy they did. I'm just saying.
I know, but I think if Stephanie's fighting for the belt, she should win it.
So I'm okay with Rhea winning it for a month and a half. If Rhea even wins it at Evolution, but she is. We're already prepared for that possibility, right?
That's what I got my eggs on. God forbid Rhea can't beat someone.
Yep. Eric said, I think Tatum and Izzy win the tag titles at Evolution.
Are they even in the match?
They're not in the match, but they're the only NXT tag team that they have. They also have Sol Ruka and Zarya. That's actually probably who I could see it being. Not Tatum and Izzy. Izzy and Tatum probably not. But that's probably not going to happen. Fernando asked, the Trick Williams can be the TNA champ. Why not the Inspiration as Raw tag champs? Well, again, Fernando, I think you mean the WWE Women's Tag Titles because I don't know exactly what you mean. But the WWE Women's Tag Titles are defended across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. The NXT title is strictly an NXT. I don't think they would put a main roster title on a TNA tag team. Would I be opposed to it completely? No, I just don't really see that happening. For the simple fact that I don't see them making WWE main roster appearances. The NXT TNA relationship is kind of exclusive to those two brands. You can have the occasional one-offs, but for the most part, it's typically the two developmental territories. I don't see the inspiration making appearances on Raw. Honestly, just take the titles and throw them in the garbage. We've talked about that before. Mr. Marceau agrees with that as well. But, that's what I would do personally. We're not at that point, so it is what it is. But nonetheless, any parting words here, Mr. Marceau, as we wind off into the sunset? Anything I forgot to mention here?
Go see Elio.
Go see Elio. Rousing review for Elio for Mr. Marceau.
It was good. It was really good. I saw people saying it wasn't good or something like that, or got mixed reviews or didn't do well in the box office, but I thought it was really good.
And bring a tissue box too, you said.
Bring tissues for the end. If you don't cry at the end, you don't have a heart.
You're just a terrible person.
Yes, exactly. You have no heart.
I texted you yesterday, but we're hoping to see Elio. Alexis wants to see it on the big screen, support, it's an original animated picture, so she wants to support it. I said, well, if we don't go see it in a theater, then I'd be more than content to watch it at home on Disney+. She said, well, if it's on, I'm not doing that. I said, why? Don't you want to support the small movie? She goes, no, I want to see it on the big screen. I'm like, I guess I'm fuck me, I guess. I guess I'll just go watch it on my own if it's on Disney+.
What do you mean? It's a Pixar movie. What do you mean?
It is. Exactly, and that's kind of my point. It's a fucking Disney movie. But to her, what she means is that it's not like a sequel, so she wants to give it the support of having to go see it.
Okay, yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, so.
I said I can only see Toy Story 10 they can only go back to that fucking well so many times.
No, I completely agree. But the funny thing is, I texted you yesterday. I don't know if I'll end up seeing it while it's in theaters because there's other movies I want to see instead. Those movies include Megan 2, a sequel, Jurassic World, whatever the new one is, a sequel, Superman, a remake. None of these movies are original at all. F1, but I'm seeing that with you. I'm not seeing that with her.
The kid's just a franchisee buff over here.
I am. Hey, listen, you got to support the mouse, baby. Disney's a struggling mom and pop shop company. Got to support them. Maria said she's seen Jurassic World Rebirth tonight. Go see Jurassic World Rebirth this weekend. Fernando said, I'm seeing it next week. Micah said everyone's seeing a Jurassic Park today. He said he's seeing it in 2 hours. Enjoy it, guys. It came out yesterday. I'm seeing it probably on Monday or Tuesday.
Isn't it like a new cast?
Yeah, they completely. You don't even have to see the originals. If you know it's based on dinosaurs, that's really all you have to know.
Okay.
So it's the 7th movie they've done, but it's not like it's totally new people. Everything else counts. It's all canon. But you don't have to do your homework, though. And Fernando said Megan 2.0 is fire. Well, I'll go see that at some point soon. Elio's still on my list. And F1 is earmarked for Boys Weekend in a couple weeks.
Yep, I have the tickets already.
I'm warming up the car now.
There you go.
I can't wait. All right, folks. New episodes of WrestleRant Radio every single Thursday. Join us here, WrestleRant.com, WrestleRantRadio.com, and all the usual podcast platforms every single Thursday. The video version, of course, here on the channel every Thursday, so check us out. Shout out to the channel members once more: Alexis, Miss Maud Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, DJ Swerve 1, Daniel Malcolm, Mr. Marceau himself, John Ritland, Richie, and the Average Grunt. More information on how to become a channel member down below in the description box. Get shout-outs at the beginning and end of every single stream that we do here on the channel, and so much more. At the very least, though, you could just like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to find out every single time that we go live here on the channel, and specifically for WrestleRant Radio, including next Thursday. We're going to be coming off the 4th of July holiday, but we'll have a lot to preview, actually, because next weekend are like 4 different shows. But Evolution, we'll be previewing that. Saturday night's main event, I'll be talking a little bit all in, giving my predictions for that pay-per-view as well.
I'll get them all right again, because why not?
Seriously, you got every prediction right, despite not having seen the product recently. You got every prediction right for the last pay-per-view. All in, I'm sure, as well. They'll be right on the money. I think Mr. Marceau's got the right, fucking gambling numbers, too, or lottery numbers.
I'm not good at gambling, so don't follow my gambling. My sport gambling's terrible.
I was there with you in Vegas. I thought you did pretty well.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Have a great 4th of July. I believe it's Fernando's birthday tomorrow. Enjoy the birthday, Fernando.
Happy birthday.
There you go. Happy birthday to Fernando. Ahmed's birthday was the other day. Daniel's was yesterday. Yeah, a lot of birthdays. Happy birthday to America, baby. Happy birthday to America.
There you go.
Enjoy
Canada Day the other day, too. Happy birthday, Canada.
Happy birthday. How can you forget Canada?
How can you forget our Canadian listeners? Come on.
Of course. I'm neglecting our friends up north across the border. Love to everyone, all right? Enjoy the rest of your weekend, even if you're not from America, all right? Enjoy your 4th of July, folks. From Mr. Marceau, I'm Graham GSM Matthews. We'll catch you right back here next week, guys. Happy 4th of July. Take care.
Join Graham GSM Matthews and RJ Marceau every Thursday as they run down their weekly wrestling rants, offer expert analysis, host exclusive interviews, and more. Subscribe today on all your favorite podcast platforms and never miss an episode of WrestleRant Radio.